Thank you very much, D-Man. Yeah, you know, our gang.
We are pretty hardcore.
Yeah, yeah. Let's break down this game, guys. Again, super straightforward from the Unicorns of Love. A true bloodbath, actually. And this time, they decided to go for more classical champs. But on the other hand, you guys felt like NIP was going into the game with losing lanes already. So elaborate.
So we expected NIP to lane swap. Make sure Alistar didn't have to go against Aurelia. You avoided the Tristana lane as well from Twitch. It didn't happen, it was standard lanes, and while Alistar fell behind, they lost the bot lane tower. It wasn't even the biggest deal. It was just the fact that Alex got completely outclassed in the mid lane. And it is hard to do anything when you give so many kills over to the enemy mid laner, like the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, Nif, give me your view on the early game where everything actually started going well for the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, as the Fisher said already, they had 3 winning lanes, and then he get the one-on-one kill in the mid lane that snowballs, and then top lane was going as well in the favor for Aurelia. And then they turned it around with a gank, but it doesn't really change the matchup. I think Aurelia should win anyways because he has the true damage, so he can go through the ultimate, and he can stick to the Alice as well. So they had 3 lanes that were winning, and then they just kept snowballing it. I think they got most of the dragons, and then they were not afraid as well to finish the game, so they just take it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you look at Lulex, of course, after the mid laner died twice, you're not going to help him out anymore. You know, if you help out top lane, it won't do that much anyway. And then bot lane was actually not even in the picture, even though they went kind of even. So for him, it must have been, where do I go now?
Yeah, it's kind of the issue right here, analyzing a game like we've just seen in the game before. Because NIP is just, they're losing all the lanes, they're losing all across the map. Like 15 minutes in, they're like 7,000 gold behind. And by that time, there's nothing one person can do. It's not about what the jungler is doing. It's about, first of all, the mid lane losing by itself. And then, again, picking some weak laners, which, I mean, if you had a strong top lane, strong bottom lane, you could maybe survive the fact Alex died a few times in mid lane because you could then win the other lanes. But in this situation, they couldn't. And obviously not saying Alex should die in the mid lane. It should never happen. But it's just hard to say anything about what Lulex could have done different or what NIP could have done different other than don't pick losing lanes and don't die one-on-one.
Yeah, and don't die one-on-one. I do actually want to sing the praises of the individual skill over the Unicorns of Love. You know, last game we saw that phenomenal Swain from Vizichachi, and now we saw Power of Evil. You know, he's put up consistent numbers in the Challenger Series as well. Syndra is great here. Orianna is great. I mean, how big of a talent is this guy?
It's always nice to see new talent coming up, and maybe that's one of the teams. I haven't seen even all of them, but I'm actually kind of impressed with their performance, and they might make it in the LCS. They look very scary, and I would be kind of scared if I would be one of the bottom teams right now.
So the crazy thing actually is that Power of Evil played for NIP when Alex was top lane, and then they decided to move Alex to mid lane, take EpicSkillshot in for top lane, and now clearly Power of Evil is destroying NIP, at least in this game. So if it was the right move, I don't know, but looking at these games, it definitely wasn't.
Yeah, let's actually take a look at one moment in the game where it wasn't a perfectly played team fight, maybe from the Unicorns of Love, but still very strong.
Yeah, so 17 minutes in, already sieging in towards the base of NIP. They're so far ahead in gold, so they're obviously supposed to win this team fight here. They do, however, decide to split the decision a little bit. If you just roll the clip, I know upstairs, Nif, you were at least almost yelling, hit the damn tower.
Yeah, I thought like, okay, we can just take the tower for free because they're only 3 people and they have no damage at all. But what they do, they dive. It's not too bad since they get kills, but then they stay too long and then Aurelia gets really low and then the Twitch comes back and then that's the point where they die. The first one here, Orianna gets kind of caught out and the Shaman as well, and then that's where it's too far. And then they just die one by one, and Priest gets here one of the gold bonus. It's really good for him, but it's kind of too late. And the good thing for Unicorns of Love is actually that they get the tower, so they can actually finish the game later on. So it's a good thing. They played it bad, but it's still good.
Yeah, they were so far ahead. I mean, you can make mistakes when you are like 8,000 gold ahead by 17 minutes. And using the 5 seconds to hit an Alistar and his ult instead of the tower, not very smart. But still, it wasn't enough for NIP. Freeze, he tries, and he tries, and he tries. It just doesn't work for him.
Yeah, and how much of the stage fright is coming in here? As Trevor mentioned, they were down 0-4 versus NIP in the Challenger Series, and they come here in 2-0 already. Maybe a clean 3-0 sweep coming in for them. I mean, very impressive.
Very impressive. I don't think they are feeling any kind of nerves, even before the first game. I don't think NIP is either. I just think actually they're being outclassed, and the pick and ban phase for them is not good enough. If you look at the games they played yesterday where they lost as well in the semifinals, it was pretty much the same deal where they would pretty much they will fall behind early mid-game in all the games. When they played SK Prime in the Challenger Final and lost 2-1 as well. Same deal, they fell behind early mid-game, could never get to the late game point where they want to be, which also means the AD carry Freeze, who is the guy who tries to pick up all the kills, never get to a point where he can carry the team because he's never getting to the late game.
So, I mean, it almost is a very depressing picture if we want to talk about what's going to happen here in the next game. So I'm just going to ask you guys straight up, is there anything that NIP can do versus Unicorns of Love?
Well, I would like to see some early mid-game come from NIP where they focus on trying to just snowball the lanes, take the first few dragons, try and do what Unicorns of Love have done to them in these games. I know you love the late game comps, but NIP clearly doesn't have what it takes to survive the early mid-game. At the moment, with a late game comps, I want to see them pick like early mid-game stuff.
Nif, what do you think?
I think they should just pick winning lanes and then try to snowball and get a lead by this, and then try to finish the game by this. Like what we try to do is always to find a balance. So you have like a good late game, but you don't give up your early game too much. So what they should probably do too, but kind of they're probably a bit desperate right now. So they should just go for winning lanes, try to get the game in your hand and try to finish it.
Yeah, we'll see what they come out with. We've got to take another quick break, but when we return, it's going to be Game 3 for these teams as they fight for the final spot in the Spring Promotion Tournament. We'll be right back.